Hey folks, welcome back to another edition of Chatwoot Connect. So this one is an exciting one where we have a lot of stories from the community. So we have two teams here talking about what they're building with Chatwoot, and we also have Pranav who will be talking about what's new coming in V3. So I won't take much of your time. Let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Shivam. I am a product engineer here at Chatwoot. You might have seen me in GitHub and maybe other chat connect events. So yeah, so we'll just kick off with Leonardo from the Tegrus team. And hey, Leonardo, welcome.
Hello guys, hello everyone, thank you for joining us today. Let me say hello for those that watch us live. Hope you are doing well. Let me present here. Um, See my screen? Yeah, there we go. So my name is Leonardo. You can call me Leo. I'm responsible for international business and partnership representative at Tegrus. In this meeting, we also have the developer and responsible for T5, which is Johnny Souza. So what we want to show here today, like a little review, we're going to show first, we're going to show the problem that we are facing, and then the solution that we developed for that problem. In sequence, we're going to have a demonstration, and finally, we're going to have show some results that we got with T5, which is our tool that use Chatwoot dashboard apps, right? So there you go. First of all, the problem view. What problem did it solve with T5? Well, let's analyze the problem. The first problem we are intent to solve was the lead response time, the time between the client's first contact and the sales response has a huge impact in close the deal. The faster we reach the leads, the bigger the chance of having success in sales. So these relations is one thing that you need to always remind when you are talking about sales, response time, right? According to our research here in Brazil about sales cycles using WhatsApp, if you answer the client in at least 1 minute, the conversion uh, increase to 339.1%. So it's an expressive number, right? And if it takes 1 minute longer, the conversion drops off to 160, really good in comparison to the 1 minute to response. It's an expressive decrease more than a half. So therefore, a quick answer is very important in the sales process. The second problem that I want to treat is the lead information. We noticed that our customers were facing trouble in managing information from WhatsApp to the sales pipeline and vice versa. And that's make a like mismatch of information. And of course, it's difficult to manage. It may decrease sales performance. And that's the second problem that I want to solve. Like I said before, we need a solution to manage sales and message process, right? And what do we develop? Defines the solution that integrates Chatwoot with Pipeline, which is a process pipeline application using Chatwoot dashboard apps. Tify was designed in order to improve and organize communication during the sales process. Basically, we map with a solution that establishes contact within less than 10 seconds and creates a visualization embedded in Chatwoot to the lead we need them to talk. Being more direct, we send an automatic WhatsApp message after move a card in the sales pipeline. And you create a visualization for the lead in Chatwoot. That's T5. With that, we enhance efficiency in sales process at all. A little bit of technical info now. The integration flow is not complicated. Actually, in fact, it's very simple. We basically keep listening the pipeline webhook, and if some change is made there, it sends an event to API cloud of WhatsApp, and automatically it sends a message depending on previous configuration that we made. I get a response we create a conversation in Chatwoot using dashboard app resource. So T5 promotes a unique visualization of personal data and the communication history in order to unify information to be consumed to sales and teams. Marketing teams, sorry. In this slide, this is an example of how the system works. The picture seen on the screen is the pipeline, which is the sales pipeline. So we've got the columns, which one of them are representing sales phase that belongs to a sales process, right? So in the leads column, which is the first one, we've got Johnny Souza that came from, for example, Facebook ads campaign. I want to talk to Johnny, so I take the Johnny's card, drag and drop to the fourth column, for example, which is the phase contact attempt, for example, in our sales cycle. So at that moment, the application will send an automatic message using WhatsApp, as you can see in the next slide. So we move the card and Johnny receive a message in WhatsApp saying, "Hello, Johnny, how are you? We can enhance agility and increase productivity using T5. Our clients are using T5 and creating 2 times more business opportunities and closing 40% more deals." This is in Portuguese, but I just translated for you. But okay. And then John become interested, for example, and answer that message. "Hey, tell more about that solution." And at the moment, as soon as he answered the message, a card will be created in Chatwoot, as you can see here in the screen. So at the screen, we are seeing Chatwoot, but observe that we already have the conversation between Johnny and our company, and we can continue the conversation through Chatwoot. If you hit the button, consult lead and pop on Pipeline, which is the dashboard app tab, actually, beside message, we're gonna see all information about that lead that was important from Pipeline. Thus, we have the same screen, lead information and message side by side. And more. Through this screen, I can change information that we have on Pipeline. So we can change the sales phase this lead is, update any information that we have. What do you think about that? So let's check. Let's try to do it this live. I got this video, but I want to show you guys working, and that's our. Let's see if I can show you. I'm not sure if I can share more than the screen. Let's see which one I need to share. There we go. Now you can see. Right. So I have the pipe card here. First, I want to show you guys, like, imagine the situation without this tool, right? So imagine a sales process like that. I have pipeline, so I have the sales pipeline exactly like I showed to you previously, the same picture, the same schema, right? On the left-hand side, you can see the Johnny's card, for example. And we want to contact Johnny. So I need to check Johnny information. Over here, like, I have a cell phone, I have a mail, and it's necessary to save that number on the cell phone and then to send a message. And then I can, for example, hit to Johnny. That's Johnny here, and can say hello and those things. Hello, Johnny. And if get the answer, I need to get back here. And for example, let's say that Johnny, it's a qualified lead, and then I will move Johnny over here, and I need to do this manually, right? So let's say that Johnny is interesting, and I need to talk with Johnny to say something more, and then I need to get back to WhatsApp again, and then say something else to Johnny and go back to Pipefy again. So and so on. If I with the evolution in sales process, I need to go to WhatsApp and get back to leads qualification and so on. But imagine one thing: how many people is it possible to manage this way? Like 10, 20, 50? This is a big number. I'm not sure. Now imagine the situation: some advertisement on social media getting hundreds and hundreds of leads. Think you need to manage all of them. Probably the solution like T5 would help you a lot, and I will show you. So let's check the same situation with T5. So I've got Leonardo over here. Um, um, and we are going to move the card on the pipeline to a different phase, and automatically a message will be sent to Leo. So let's drag Leonardo to this to over here. So let's check here, and there we go. Automatic message was sent to Leo. This is a hello world, welcome, congratulations. This is the standard message for WhatsApp API in this case, but doesn't matter. So let's say that Leonardo get interested in something, and I can say, hello, I tell me more about it. And that time, if you open Chatwoot right now, the integration has created a card on Chatwoot and has copied every single information that we got on Pipefy, as well as the conversation between the company and Leo. So let's check Chatwoot. And there you go. Hello, tell me more about it. Like I have typed like some seconds ago. And if you hit the button, search it, for example, it's possible to check all the information about Leonardo. So I have side-by-side message and search and the dashboard app, which is T5 basically. So here I can change some information, like I have the number of cards. In this case, I just have one card for Leonardo. I have the information, name, I have the email, the cell phone, I have the information. Um, for example, I have the information in which phase Leonardo is in the pipeline, in sales pipeline. For example, if this is the phase that Leonardo is, then attempt number one, you can check over here. Here's him, the fourth column. So I can, for example, change to opportunities. I've changed Leonardo to opportunities, and automatically here's the third column called opportunities. And I can move back over here, and if I refresh this page and go again, so what else I've got here? We've got contact information, we got activities on Pipefy. What else? Oh, I can open the Pipefy. This is a shortcut, so I can open the card on Pipefy. Let's just wait for that, and that's all the information, the history of information, all the information about Leonardo in the Pipefy, right? So there we go. Let's get back to the Chatwoot. And look, I'm just changing between tabs to show you guys that is working. But I don't need to do this. I can change everything in the same screen. I can change the phases and those things. And that's the main potential of our solution, right? So let's get back to the presentation now to show some results that we got. Um, the results are pretty representative. We've increased it to 300% in lead conversion rates. The number of daily approaches has increased from 46 leads daily to 125 leads, which represents 3 times more. The time in the main sales phase decreased from 145 days to 44 days, which represents 3 times less. Those are very good results in sales effectiveness. A little bit about this client. Next slide. Next slide. If you check the graphic of the number of conversations, daily number of conversations, we are going to see that we started with less than 20 conversations in the beginning of this year, and then we have reached more than 100 conversations in March using T5 for that. So we're being 5 times more productive with the solution. We had kept going during this almost long in the next month as well. Some that's want to show, and some final considerations to summarize the presentation. T5 make your sales operations scalable. It's a platform that will facilitate growing business in all industries by reducing the sales cycle with automated and controlled messages in a single spot. With T5, it's possible to unify all the lead data in the same place, avoiding lack or misunderstanding of information during the sales process. If you want to increase sales using Pi5, WhatsApp, and Chatwoot, T5 is probably the solution that is just missing to get an outstanding sales performance. And with that, we finish our presentation today. Thank you for being with us until now. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to do it. Thank you a lot.
Hey, Leonardo, that was amazing. First of all, congratulations on the numbers. The results are like really amazing. So yeah, I think this is like a perfect example of a dashboard app. When we see dashboard app, it perfectly just hides away the complexity and makes it super easy for agents to just get the information they need. So yeah, I'm pretty sure like the community will find this extremely useful. So thanks a lot for sharing this. So yeah, let me just let's jump on to the next presentation after this. Thanks, Leonardo, once again.
Thank you.
Okay, so next up we have Ronald. Ronald is the founder and CEO of Sentio CX. So Sentio is helping organizations do bot handoffs seamlessly, and they have their algorithm, which is an intent-based intelligent routing algorithm. So today he'll be showing us how they orchestrate conversations through these seamless handoff methods from bots to the Chatwoot users. And let me bring Ronald on screen. Hey, welcome to Connect. I think you're on mute.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you. It's happy to
Absolutely
to be here at the Chatwoot Connect event.
Okay, so let's start with your presentation. I'll go away.
Excellent. All right. So let me share my screen. Do you guys see my screen?
Yep, it is visible perfectly fine.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much again. All right. So what I'd like to discuss is our partnership with Chatwoot and what we've developed to actually significantly improve the customer experience by embedding Sentio 6 within Chatwoot. So the topic is orchestrating conversations through seamless handoffs from bots to Chatwoot users for an enhanced customer experience. What we've seen today is that many people experience friction in bot dialogues, and they experience very long hold times. So very often the transfer to live agents is unpredictable. And also 1 out of 3 agents very often is not the right person to answer or to actually provide help. Furthermore, what we've seen is that some agents experience fatigue or burnout because of the significant workloads that they've experienced. So the way it typically works, if you have, and this is the sort of scenario what works today, very often when a customer enters a bot and needs to be transferred to a human being in the Chatwoot platform, and typically what happens is that the customer makes a request for a handoff. So for example, I need to talk to an agent or whatsoever. And then they are being placed in a queue, which is very often based on the first in, first out principle. What we've seen is that a lot of customers are no longer willing to wait more than 2 minutes. So for example, if you need help with a purchase, so in this particular case, then people can get in queue for a long time because these agents are working on providing answers on product info and answering questions about opening hours. So what we've done is significantly different. So what we do is, instead of routing the chats from the chatbot to the live agent, we basically look at the intents, the real-time intents from the bot, and then find the right agents and bring those agents to the customer, to the users. So in the Chatwoot environment, what we see is we could have agents, but it could also be experts or knowledge workers who probably have a Chatwoot mobile application, for example, right? So people that are not dedicated behind or in front of their desk. So that's how it works. So we basically orchestrate the conversations, and in the event that service levels get exceeded, we can actually either allocate reserve agents, or what we could do is to declassify the low priority intents, which basically means that we keep the low priority intents in the bot. So the end result is that customers will experience shorter and predictable wait time. They also get connected to the right person, and for the agent, it's also better because they enjoy a better workload. And for the manager, of course, they see a higher customer satisfaction, operational efficiency. So this is how it works, our product. So it's we integrate through an API, which we call the Seamless Handoff API. And by the way, I forgot to mention, but we have Adrian Ivan, our CTO and co-founder, on the call as well, in case there's any technical questions. But in any event, so we have the bots that are integrated through the API. And then on the other end, so on the Sentio agent side, basically, we have a widget that we've implemented within Chatwoot. So this is how it looks like, and I can give you a real demo so that you can actually have a feeling of how the product works. So this is Chatwoot. We have the widget over here. So we provide the intent-based intelligent routing. We can publish predictive wait time, and if necessary, even add voice to it as well. So why don't we go straight into the demo? So I prepared a short demo. This is what we're all familiar with is Chatwoot, right? So what we have, our widget is basically on the left-hand side. So this one is called Sentio Manager. So we click on Sentio Manager, and what we are able to do now is to add skills to the user. So typically within Chatwoot, you would have agents or users that you would configure either to be administrator or agents. But in our case, what we do is we populate all the agents and then assign the skills to it. So in other words, if I were to look at my profile over here, I could see, I could handle 3 simultaneous conversations. I have a sales skill with a particular proficiency level, so which is the degree to which that person has that skill. And then what we can do is we can set up a bot. So we can, in this case, we prepared for Dialogflow, but we also support other bot vendors as well. So we are conscious of the fact that Chatwoot supports, Dialogflow, for example, and Raza, I believe, but we can actually have additional bot support. So in this case, we could, for example, have Rulai, which is a bot vendor in Silicon Valley. So we could add that and enter org ID, access token, and so forth, and then we have configured a bot to the Chatwoot environment. Now, the core of the product is what we call intent classification. So intent classification is where we populate all the intents from the bot. So in this case, I have Dialogflow prepared. So what I could do is to create an intent, And let's say the intent is I want to go for a Chatwoot premium plan. And in the event that somebody were to type in a premium plan, what I want to make sure is that that person gets connected to a live agent, right? So let me prepare for this. So in this case, that's the intent that I've configured. Now, if I go to Sentio Manager over here, then what I'll see is that the intent of Chatwoot Premium Plan is being populated. So it basically appears in the Sentio Manager admin screen in Chatwoot. When I click on this, I could basically say, if somebody were to say, I want to move to Chatwoot Premium Plan, that should be triggering a handoff. The handoff is then assigned to a agent with a particular skill. So in this case, could be sales, right? And then I could say, this is the media flow, which is the website, to what I'm using. And I'll assign a importance and urgency level to it. So now I've configured, I've basically classified the intent. So in the event that somebody says premium plan, this is what would happen. So now if I go back to maybe an agent over here, and I would use our website, and I would communicate with the bot, and I would say Chatwoot premium plan. Okay, so now it basically connects me to myself, and what I'll see here is that this is the chat that I'm getting routed. So it basically sends the chat over to me as an agent. So that's how it works. So again, so we have the handoff management over here. We can also provide a response in terms of how, I didn't show that, but that's actually in the product as well. So I could say, a live agent will be with you in, let's say, 1 minute. So I could have publish a predicted wait time. And I could, publish a few other messages over here. And then last but not least, I could actually present a chat report so that we can actually see all the chats that are coming into the system, whether they reach, their service levels and so forth. So our technology basically is capable of providing a seamless handoff based on incoming chats that are being classified and then prioritized based on how we classify these intents, and then basically routed to the right agents. So that's our product, and we are very much we're very much looking forward to working with Chatwoot to basically look at customers that actually might use this capability. I think it's very powerful. We have implemented this at a couple of customers already, and they love the product. They love the fact that you can actually have some sort of orchestration and create a mechanism to fully utilize the Chatwoot platform and the users or the agents that are actually on the platform. So thank you very much for the time, and if there's any questions, my email address is ronald@sentiocx.com. I'm happy to answer any questions, or thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot for that demo. And yeah, this is quite interesting actually. And I can see it for large teams especially, where the teams can actually have like specific expertise groups, or let's say you have a 100 people sales team, right? For this, it is extremely useful. So yeah, and thanks for the wonderful demo and the great product you've built with Chatwoot. So,
you're welcome.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure. Pleasure is mine. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, let me invite Pranav to the screen. Okay, Ron, thank you. See you soon. So yeah, we have Pranav here who will be spilling the beans on V3. I think there has been a lot of talk in the community and people asking us, when are we getting V3? What is happening with V3? So Pranav is here to talk about all the exciting features we are building. Pranav, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Excited to see you all. I'll be happy to share what we are building and the direction which we are taking. So we announced V3 as a part of our efforts to improve the product and the stability. But all the time we figure that there is quite a lot we can do to make it the best software for support out there. So yeah, I'll share my thoughts here. Please feel free to ask questions after the call. Yeah, let me just present my slides. Give me a second. Sorry about that. It's taking a bit of a time. I hope all of you can see my screen. Not yet. So yeah, I would like to go through the overview of what we are building. So right now, the stage which we are in is we have an omni-channel customer engagement platform, which is privacy compliant, which has a self-hosted infrastructure. So you can host the solution yourself on your premises, and be compliant with the data privacy regulations out there without compromising the employee or customer experience. We also provide an omni-channel experience. You can connect multiple conversation channels together, reduce the siloed data. You can actually connect different conversation channels at which your customers would be talking to and reply from one place. And extensible, being open source, allows you to build custom integrations with your internal tools quickly. And with our APIs and dashboard apps, it has gotten more and more extensible. Like you saw some of the examples here with the previous speakers presenting the extensibility option as well. So yeah. Now, what are the changes which we are looking for? Mainly, we are trying to integrate, all hand support philosophy, so everyone in the team can help their customers. The reasons why we think that this would be a future is, if you see the trend towards, having Slack Connect with customer, where you have a dedicated channel within Slack with your customer, and you can connect the you can talk to the employees directly. That actually solves a lot of problems where it builds trust, and it builds uh, more and more, it feels more and more human, because you're actually talking to the people. It's not a ticket per se. So yeah, I think we would see a trend towards having more and more people on support, being more human and being being helpful in that sense. So we are trying to embed that within Chatwoot, where you can, even if you have a team of 100 or 200, you can put all of your team members to Chatwoot, and you'd still be able to manage your support workflows without any problems. So there are specific advantages to this philosophy, where your employees directly talk to your customers. They understand, everyone is on support, everyone understands what customer wants and what their uh, what they actually need, and that actually helps you to improve your product much better. You have to you can also, as an employee, you can learn the entire product even though you have not directly contributed to it. Scaling is easier. Say, for example, if there is an influx of issues coming in, you have a downtime, or if you have a bigger event that is going on, at that point you don't have to offload your workflow to somebody else. Your team would still be capable of communicating with customers, because they already have done so previously. And also support is currently part of your product. Whenever you're selling something, it has become the part of the product. Being good at support actually makes a difference, and providing that better service is critical for the success of business. Having having a customer-centric mindset allow you to like prioritize the work. See, like, hey, the customers are like, getting affected, so it actually like, improves the product and it improves the the it improves the flows better. So what's new, I think, and what do we solve? So I think like, these are the three main things which we wanted to solve, and we are currently like in process of building features around it. So first thing is, like to build a support product that works best for for all size of companies. We need to help the employees to become better at communicating, like, allow managers and supervisors to provide meaningful feedback, and then have the managers or supervisors to have visibility of what is happening across the conversations. Like, if there are like tons of conversations happening, like how does the team perform, like what is the main thing which which works well, like what is the thing which doesn't work well, and how can I collect more information on that. And the third thing is like, how do the employees gather information from the customers? Say you got a feedback, you got a, like got a response from the customer, and how do you effectively share that with your team? So it gives the entire cycle where, your customers would be reaching out to you. Your like, they get a faster response, and then your teammates would be helping out each other to improve the communication, or like, how well they handle the conversations. The managers would be able to see like, how that entire thing is going on, like, being better at reporting, or giving better insights on specific trends within the conversations. And at the last, like, you collected all this information, how do you actually like, provide that to your product team, or how do you share that with your engineering team? So the first part is like, where, how do you assist your employees in improving their skills? So we try to do two things. One is like, we try to assist them automatically. So we have the OpenAI integration, which is currently being in beta. It helps with rephrasing the content and summarizing the content. This would help you with, like, say you even if you have like, or a non-native English speaker, or if you want to write better, the AI would be able to give you like, better prompts and better suggestions, and that would actually like, further improve the quality of the response. Second thing is like, we are trying to figure out how to improve the quality. So essentially, like, we started with an integration with product like Close to help figure out like the quality of conversations. So it includes a couple of things. One is like, the tone of the conversation, the response rates and stuff like that. Like there are like 4 or 5 parameters which we try to look at to see whether that conversation has been great, or whether there is something like, which can be improved, and probably like, provide feedback for the people. And the second part of it is like, we assist them manually. Say, for example, as a teammate, I saw that, a conversation is not available, like it's not being handled properly, then I can jump in and share my comments within the conversation as a thread, saying that, hey, for here, for example, like, the customer, like the support agent initially, like, said that this is not available, but two other agents said that, like, this is not what customer is asking for. Can you please check again? So this way, having that collaboration gives a lot of avenues to improve. And once we have that in pipeline, basically, every conversation, every message can have a thread, and it can have they can have a discussion on their own. So essentially, like, this would help you to improve the quality of the conversations within, and provide meaningful feedback at the right place in the right time. Second part is like the part where the second problem which we are solving is to improve the visibility of the conversation and help them to prioritize the conversations. So how do we help them? Like, how do we help with the prioritization? So essentially, every conversation needs shorter response time initially, like at least like, people like when they are on live chat, when they're on like, emails, like people look for like, faster responses that essentially improves the customer experience. So how we are trying to like, provide you tools to, reduce that. Then second thing is like, high paying customers, or like, you have certain categories. Like high paying is basically a case, but you have like VIP customers for every businesses. So they need a hand holding, like, how do you do that? And the third thing is like, there can be angry customers who needs to be dealt with caution. And these are some of the examples at which like, we thought of where we could help with prioritizing. So the first part of it is like, we're trying to implement an SLA feature, which would allow admins to set up an SLA to, provide responses within a specific time. So this would be available in our enterprise edition. And you can set a time limit for each of the conversations as a first response time or a resolution time. And if that's not being happening, it would get escalated, properly. And the second part is like, we would create queues, which is like, based on different parameters. So for example, like, high paying customers is one example. Like, we can create queues of that, so that like, you can specifically look at those queues and see if there is anything which needs to be taken care of. And the first part is prioritization. Second part is like, how do you improve visibility? Like, we try to improve visibility by giving more notifications, or like, creating a separate inbox for you. So specifically, like, we'll be repurposing the notifications screen which we have right now to more of an inbox style, where you would get alerted whenever the quality is bad or sentiment is bad, and when the SLA or like the response time is higher or SLA breaches. So you'd be able to see that like, individually, and say that like, hey, there has been something happening on this particular conversation, and you can subscribe to that. So we recently like shipped the participant feature. So if you are subscribed to the conversation, you would automatically like, get to see all the updates that's happening, and you'd see that as a view. So this would give you like much more help, like, much better visibility on what is happening across the conversations. Now, how does it help an employee? For an employee perspective, like, when I personally work on support, what I do is like, I try to figure out like what has happened, and like, are there any feature requests, anything surprising, what are all the negative feedbacks, and for me personally, it would like, the tool would be able to provide you that insights. So it would auto-generate a report based on your conversations which you had previously, and will give you a summary of what has happened last week. Like, what all are the things like, which are exciting. Say you got like quite a lot of product features, and there are like 10 of them which are very similar, and you can share that with the team. So essentially what it means is that like, at the end of every week, you will be able to see an auto-generated report which you can share with your team to provide an update that like, hey, these are the things which are happening in support last week. So essentially what we try to do is like, to increase participation in support in most of the other departments in the same businesses as well. So we would try to like, increase that engagement, and these kind of reports would give you much more insights, and like, more people would be giving you like, more information. So now talking about the timeline, initially, like, we thought it as a small update, but things have changed. Like, scope has gone a little bit like bigger than what we have initially estimated. So what we are looking at right now is like, we're trying to see if we could do a July 15th release with some of the features mentioned, so that like, it aligns with the direction. Also, like, it gives you a much better update than what has been there. So yeah, I think that's mostly it from my end. Shivam, back to you.
Hey, thanks a lot for that. I think that does answer a lot of community questions. But now I think over to the next section, I will invite the speakers to the stream. and we can open it up for questions. So wherever you're watching this, if you want, if you have any questions, please post it in the comments, and then our panel will answer it. We already had a question. Let me put that up anyway. Leonardo, I believe this is for you.
Got it. We actually, I think the best way is start with us directly is the best way, like to show, because we don't have the site for T5 yet. So I can send my contact, my email, or something like that, so I can check the. You can check the website for Tegrus, but it's in Portuguese. I'm not sure it's very helpful. So can I just share in these comments like my email? That's the website, and my email is where I can dial. Is that possible? Yeah. In the comments, I can leave my email. I think it's the best way. Do you know how can I do it? Sure.
On the right side, you can see banners. You can just add a banner for yourself and show it.
Where is it, sorry?
On the right side, just below the comments tab, you'll find. Or you can just speak out your email address and I'll drop it off.
The email, it's my name, is leonardo.ciutali @tegrus.com.br.
Okay. This is it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So this is the email address. Let me look at the comments. Okay. Can you share your email again? Okay. Let me just bring that up as well. So, yep, this is Ronald's email address. Okay. A question for you, Pranav.
Yeah, any plans on adding granular features permissions? Yes, we do, and this is also part of working. Like if everyone on the team is there, like we need multiple hierarchies, and that's definitely like covered. So you would see the updates over here. So yeah, you'll be able to see more updates when you're launching it. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's about it.
Yeah. It's mostly the questions we had.
Okay.
So there was one question from Ben Robinson, right? So I'm just looking at the notes here. So Ben, please send me an email, ronald@sentio6.com, and we'll give you access to our software.
Sure.
Happy to do so.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, I think that's mostly it. Maybe lesser comments this time,
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Yeah, I think let's wrap the session up, and yeah.
Okay. Thanks, the panel. Thank you all for joining, and this is us checking out. So bye, and see you all in the next Chat Connect. Bye.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.